Let's say you own a commercial property worth about $2 million. You've held it for years, it's appreciated significantly, and you're thinking about selling. On paper, that sounds like a great outcome. But then you run the numbers and realize that you could owe hundreds of thousands, maybe sometimes even millions of dollars in tax. When you start calculating capital gains tax on the federal side, depreciation recapture, if you took any of that depreciation. And then if you live in a state that also provides for or has a capital gains tax, you have to contend with that as well. So most investors start asking the question, is there a way I can defer this? And that's where something called a 1031 exchange comes into play. And before we get started, I'm Joe Quartucci, co-founder and managing partner at E3 Wealth. We work with business owners, real estate investors on tax strategy, liquidity planning, and long-term wealth planning design. Today, I want to walk you through a simple step-by-step example of how a 1031 exchange works using a $2 million property. So step one, the basic concept. At a high level, a 1031 exchange allows you to sell an investment property and reinvest those proceeds into another qualifying property, a like property, without immediately paying capital gains on the taxes. The key word there is defer. Sometimes people call it swap till you drop, meaning keep exchanging until you die. Now let's use a $2 million example. We'll walk through just this really simple scenario. You sell a piece of commercial property for a $2 million, and let's say your cost basis, or what you originally paid for the property plus improvements, is around $1 million. That means you have roughly a $1 million capital gain, plus the potential for that depreciation recapture that we talked about, which often surprises real estate investors in a negative way. Without any planning, that could result in a six-figure tax bill. But with a properly executed 1031 exchange, you can take that full $2 million, roll it directly into a new investment property, deferring those taxes. Now, here's where most people get tripped up. A 1031 exchange has very strict and precise timelines. Once you sell your property, the clock begins to immediately tick. You have 45 days to identify a potential replacement property. That means you might want to have that done ahead of time. Then you have 180 days to close on one of those properties that you've identified. If you miss either of those deadlines, the exchange fails and the entire gain becomes taxable. This is one of the biggest reasons these transactions require planning before the sale, not after the sale. Another critical piece that you cannot take possession of the proceeds from the sale. If the money hits your account, the IRS considers the transaction complete and taxable. Instead, the funds must be held in a qualified intermediary, or QI for short. What they do is essentially act as a third party, and they receive the sale proceeds. They hold them during the exchange period and facilitate the purchase of that replacement property. That step is non-negotiable. You have to use a QI in order to do the 1031. To fully defer your taxes, you generally need to do a couple of things. One, you need to purchase a property of equal or greater value, reinvest all of the proceeds. If you take cash out of the deal or buy something smaller, then a portion of that may become taxable. So just need to be aware of that. Now let's talk about where things tend to go wrong. The biggest mistakes that we see are waiting too long to plan and trying to set up a 1031 after the property is already under contract. Big time trouble. Missing the identification deadlines, not having a replacement property lined up early and choosing the wrong replacement asset. Buying something just to complete the exchange instead of aligning it with your long-term strategy. Now there is something that I see that is very common. And not coordinating the exchange with a broader financial plan. That's really what you should be doing. I think it's also important to understand that a 1031 exchange isn't always the right move. For example, if you want liquidity instead of reinvesting, you shouldn't do a 1031 exchange. Or if your tax rate may actually be lower in the future, then you don't want to do a 1031 exchange. If you're looking to simply simplify your real estate exposure, in those cases, paying the tax and having the money in your hands might be a better long-term decision. This is where the strategy matters more than the tactic itself. A 1031 exchange is just one tool. The real question is, how does this decision fit into my overall wealth strategy? Are you building a larger real estate portfolio? Are you approaching a liquidity event? Are you trying to reduce long-term tax exposure? Because deferring taxes only creates value, again, if it aligns with where you're trying to go. If you're considering selling a commercial property, especially if it's in the $1 million to $5 million range or more, a 1031 exchange can be a powerful strategy. But like all things related to tax strategy, it requires planning ahead, understanding the rules, and coordinating the transaction with your broader financial picture. If you'd like help evaluating whether a 1031 makes sense for your situation, we invite you to schedule a conversation with our team, because the goal isn't just to defer taxes, it's also to make sure the decision actually moves your financial plan forward. Take a look down below, schedule a meeting. We'd love to talk to you.